How's it going, guys? Rhino here, and I apologize for not making a video in a while. I got a new mic and I need to wait for the pop filter to come in, and it hasn't come in yet, so I apologize for any pops and anything like that in this video. That will be corrected as soon as it comes in, and then I can start making videos more often. But hopefully that happens soon. I'm not sure. It's supposed to come in soon, but we'll see. But for this video, essentially, something happened. It was last night or the night before, and I just really wanted to talk about it because it's a really good topic, but I had a lot of thoughts that I felt like I might lose if I didn't make the video soon. And so essentially here's my discussion of the topic. And so just a brief overview of what happened is I tweeted a couple pictures about essentially double standards in feminism, which, you know, it's a pretty common joke that feminists are highly hypocritical. I guess that's the best word for it. They're highly hypocritical. They're very into double standards and they don't give a shit about it. But when called out on it, they, you know, defend it in some way, shape, or form. And, you know, that's typically what you get. And of course, a radical left-winger who follows me, who likes to respond to my tweets with really dumb comments, posted something, and it kind of sparked this discussion. What was said exactly doesn't really matter, but essentially it's along the lines of when anti-feminists, or rather just logical thinkers, talk about an issue and they explain it away, like for example the wage gap, they view that as, or at least feminists view that as, the same as when they cheer that women are, you know, becoming the majority in a certain field. And I believe the article said something about doctors, or doctors in the UK, or something along like those lines. It wasn't doctors overall, which doctors have been a male predominant field for a long time. And so essentially this person was trying to point out that I was being hypocritical in this sense, that I was whining about this, and I was whining about this when we do the exact same thing. And I need to highlight an extreme difference between the two sides in what they do. So for example, I'm going to steer away from, just for a minute, the topic of these doctors becoming, or women becoming doctors more often in the UK now than men, and steer more towards a more common topic that we all know about, and that is the wage gap. So anti-feminists and logical thinkers alike who argue the wage gap take a look at the number 23% that women are paid less, and they evaluate it. They don't automatically assign judgment. They don't say that's good or bad. They assign they evaluate it deeper. They look at, okay, well, what's causing that? If women are paid 23% less, well, why is that? And then when they see that, women's choices are leading to this, you know, women choose to work less, women choose lower paying majors, women are less likely to ask for a raise, less likely to ask for a promotion, are more likely to take time off for kids. And those are just a few of many of the factors that go into why women earn less than men. When you factor these in, you get to like a 2% wage gap. And then even at that point, you can't automatically assign discrimination to that last 2%. And so essentially what that means is that anti-feminists like myself, when they see that women earn 23% less, we look at it and we say, okay, that makes sense based on these factors, because equality of opportunity still exists. Equality of outcome doesn't, but equality of opportunity. Whereas a woman has every right and every ability to earn the same or more than a male counterpart in the same field nowadays, if she makes the right choices, she has absolutely every right not to, and based on statistics, she's likely not to make those same choices, so she'll eventually end up earning less. And so equality of opportunity exists in this situation. Equality of outcome doesn't, because women and men each have their own free choice as to what sort of career paths they go into and how they really go about their career, essentially. Really how they choose to go forward in their career, how hard they seek after, you know, maximizing the amount of money they make. It leads to differences in the genders' pay overall when you look at the averages. And so that's what an anti-feminist does when they look at the wage gap. When a feminist looks at something like the wage gap, they obviously freak out about it. But what should cause them to freak out is if an anti-feminist were to take a look at the wage gap, be like, okay, 23%. Women are paid 23% less than men. I'm happy about that. Good. Women should earn less. That is called sexism, and that is called male supremacy. And I guarantee that happens. I guarantee if you go on YouTube, unless they get banned, you'd be able to find videos where people say that, where they say, good, women should earn less. I'm happy that women earn less. That's not what anti-feminists do, though. They take a look at that number and they say, okay, well, women earn less. I'd be perfectly fine. Any sort of programs or classes that try to teach women to be more aggressive in asking for raises, when it comes to asking for promotions, when it comes to working more, stuff like that. I'd be perfectly fine with that because that, you know, the wage gap exists in the sense that women just earn less than men. It's fair, but it's not something I want. I don't want women to earn less. I'm not a sexist. However, feminists on the other side, this is where this person comes in, where the tweet that I originally sent out comes in. They look at something like what I was talking about. Women are now dominating a field, or rather starting to dominate. They're becoming the majority in a field, and it's becoming more and more of a majority, and feminists are cheering for that. They're cheering for that excess. They're not cheering for 50-50, they're cheering for that excess. That is also called female supremacy and sexism towards men, or just sexism in general. You don't see me as an anti-feminist trying to get men into nursing so that the nursing field becomes 50-50 because I know men don't want to go into the nursing field. Moreover, you don't see me pushing more and more for men to become nurses so that we dominate that field and then cheer about it, because then, of course, that would be sexism and that would be male supremacy, or cheering male supremacy, saying that men are better at this job, they should be more of the population of nurses. So this is just something that was kind of bouncing around in my head, just this pivotal difference, this important difference between what I said and what I do, or rather what this person said I do and what I actually do. So, you know, that kind of just shows that these people with their leftist goggles on aren't able to see the reasoning behind things. They're not able to see the difference between explaining something to be fair for equality of opportunity purposes and cheering for something to be not fair for equality of outcome purposes that actually isn't even equality of outcome, that you've exceeded equality of opportunity, so equality of opportunity doesn't exist anymore, and now you've exceeded equality of outcome, and equality of outcome doesn't exist anymore. So now you've just plain out reached female supremacy in this case. Now, of course, this doesn't mean that female supremacy exists in that field. It's more just that, and I don't know the whole circumstance around this particular article. I wasn't linked the article. I just saw the picture making fun of the article, essentially. But typically what leads to this is women are oftentimes pushed more into these fields. And it doesn't usually last. They're typically not as happy because they already have the freedom to make that decision if they want to. They just choose not to. They choose to go into something like nursing, or I think psychology is also one that's very female dominated, or at least psychology without a doctorate, I believe, is the most female dominated. And so there are these actions in place that just try to push women into these fields, despite the fact that they're now already dominating that field. And so then my question would be, okay, so are we going to start pushing males to become doctors in the UK more than women? I really don't think so, because feminists don't think that way. They only think of, oh, this impacts women negatively, or this seems to impact women negatively, so we need to push for this. Men don't matter. It doesn't matter that, it doesn't matter that they're becoming less prominent in this field that they were dominant in for a long time simply because they chose to be and women chose not to be. But, still, equality of outcome, which doesn't even exist here, is more important. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk about that. The difference in how each side views things. So, like, if I saw that men started dominating a specific field more and more, I wouldn't cheer for it. Yet, on the wage gap issue, feminists cheer that between the ages of 20 and 30, single childless women are now earning about 8 cents more than their male counterparts, and they cheer that. Well, why? It's understandable if you look at the data and you explain it, and it's showing that equality of opportunity exists and women just work more, or they take higher paying jobs, or something along those lines, that their choices lead to them earning more, and it's not just some invisible force causing them to earn more. If you are just explaining that, that's fine, but they're celebrating it. That's called female supremacy. That's called sexism. There's a pivotal difference here, and if you can't see that, then you might want to try taking your liberal goggles off. That's about it for this video, guys. I just kind of wanted to rant about it. I want to know your thoughts down below in the comments. Again, I apologize for not posting in a while. I should be posting more soon. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to comment, rate, and subscribe. And as always, have a nice day.